We do diagnostics of what is causing businesses or churches or organizations that we are reaching out to be in such pain, not hitting their marks, not being productive, not delivering what they ought to be able to deliver. Leadership is painful, don't you know? We have a company and a product and a marketplace and customers, and on paper, it looks like we should have a profitable quarter, but we don't have a profitable quarter. And then it happens in another quarter, and it happens in another quarter, and we don't know how to fix it. And one of the core things we do at World Serving Leaders is a diagnostic with those people we're talking with to help them identify why are their employees turning over so rapidly, and they're burning cash, hiring, training, losing their people doing it again, or why are their customers not coming back for more and not giving good word of mouth, or why are their products getting shipped damaged, you name it. Why do people come into the church so enthusiastic about this sounds like a good church, but 4 or 5 months later, they're out the back door and the church isn't growing? And one of the core things that we identify is that the values that are being espoused aren't real. Now, I just want to say something. May I exaggerate? I think there are 100,000 training companies on earth that say values are very important in your organization, or you should lead by values. That insight, quite frankly, is a dime a dozen. I think most people now know that. The question is, how? How do I lead by values? How do I get the values out of me, because I value them, and into the heartbeat of my people, into the navigational system of my people? How do I get the things that I care about when I'm customer facing into my people who are customer facing, so that those values operate? And a bit later, one of these weeks, I will be talking to our training partners about that part of our work. We call that Raise the Bar. But today, I'm doing something more fundamental on the subject of values. I'm John Stahl-Wert, and I'm so honored to have founded World Serving Leaders, and I'm talking to training partners in 32 plus countries around the world who are training the serving leader material in their communities across every region of the earth. And what I am doing methodically in these videos is working to help and strengthen and encourage our training partners who are training serving leaders. And today I want to focus not on the importance of values and the implementation of values in the companies we serve, but I want to talk about World Serving Leaders values. As training partners, as friends of this movement, I want to remind us what our values are as we go about our work. We're building a worldwide body of certified serving leader training partners, and it is the joy of my life that we find ourselves in a rapidly growing community of values-aligned trainers. We get to work together. We get to be on each other's team. This is beautiful. I think that for 40 years, I'm 67 now. Yes, realistically, for 40 years, I have been saying this. I long to find myself at a round table of fellow leaders who are aligned in heart, mind, spirit, purpose, and who can be there for each other to get something done that is worth doing. I've never wanted to be at the top of the org chart or the front of the room or the head of the class. I've wanted to be at a glorious and beautiful round table of friends bound together in the doing of purposeful things that makes a difference in the world. Training partners, you know what our serving leader compass is. And we talk about identity. That's on the eastern point of the compass where the sun rises. Who are we? I've spoken about that. And as we work our way around that compass, on the southern compass point is the values. How do we conduct ourselves? How do we operate? Let me remind us in these few minutes what the values are of World Serving Leaders. And if you are just a visitor on this quick little video, you're hearing me talk to certified training partners of World Serving Leaders around the world. You're welcome to listen in. Maybe we will meet one another. So this is for the men and women in many countries around the world who are training leaders to get better results in their communities and to elevate the prospects and the hopes and the value, the life expectancy, the quality, all the good things in their country. But if you're visiting, welcome to the community. Welcome to these expressions. World Serving Leaders has 4 values. And the first one is the first one because it is maybe the most important one to you. That value is results. You can get me pretty animated on this point. I have watched the leadership development industry, the leadership training industry, all my adult life. And may I speak very candidly, I have been disgusted at the disconnect from making an investment in leadership training and getting any results from that investment. I read a very painful book a number of years ago by Barbara Kellerman from Harvard, and this book is called The End of Leadership. I wrote a peer-reviewed journal article about her book, critiquing her book. I think she critiqued the leadership development industry very well. And among many things, she said, in the leadership development industry, the people who teach leadership are 100% non-accountable for results. I consider that perverse. I consider that unconscionable. If we get together with men and women who are in charge of things, hospitals, churches, manufacturing facilities, restaurants, whatever it is, and we ask them to spend some time with us and make an investment to get better, then we should see results. I'll talk about this in more detail in another video, but we value results. We don't simply value sending an invoice and getting paid for having run a workshop. We're not on earth to busy up people's lives and deplete their P&L and not give them results. We're in the business of improving their results so that they look back after a few months with us and say, man, that was a good investment because I had turnover costs and I had damaged good costs and I had people coming and going like a revolving door costs, and I had customer loss costs and reputational costs and bad mistake costs, and I just was bleeding and not able to fix it, but we've fixed it. And now the balance sheet is improving and the profit line is improving and customer reach is improving and customer reputation is improving. We value results. Number 2, we value heart. We're not machines, we're human beings. And this is not something we clock in and clock out and do, because we have to get it done. We come with passion. One of my great joys, and I'm talking to our training partners, I personally know so many of you and am so moved to be your colleague. I see heart in you. I see the way that you have accumulated a lifetime of experience and reputation and capacity in your countries. And now you have bound yourself to the practice set of serving leadership, and you bring heart to the equation because you know the difference that good leadership makes. Leadership is the independent variable in every endeavor on earth. As goes the leader, so goes the enterprise, the community, the family, the church, the nation. And you know this. As my colleagues, you know this. And your heart enheartens me. And my prayer is that I can enhearten you. I can encourage, embolden you. And I'm so thankful for your heart. Third, we value transformation. What does that mean? When we are done in serving you, we have left behind a sustainable, scalable, always growing impact that will be with you without us. We value transformation. One of my friends many years ago, Joe Pine, who wrote The Experience Economy, and then he wrote the book Authenticity, and very recently he has written about transformation. Joe said to me in Shanghai and Chengdu back in 2005, he said, at the heart of the Serving Leader Framework, John, is you're a transformational company because you don't simply do transactions. Things are different. There is change that occurs in the leaders, in their identity, in their opportunity, in the experience of their people, in their market, in their growth. And when you finish serving them, they are empowered to continue to grow in the tracks that you've given them without you. And Joe said, always keep transformation at the forefront of what you talk about, because you are one of the strong transformational companies on earth. And so thirdly, we value transformation. And then finally, we value relationships. Business relationships are human relationships. One of my longest friends is a man named Mike Weber. Mike was a client many years ago when we did servant leader training at his company, and they onboarded it beautifully. They had already been doing extraordinary things to make a strong company. When Mike started in that company, I won't name it, but when he started, they were about a $10 million company, and they had flat EBITDA. There was no profit. And Mike was the North American subsidiary GM for a global company and turning no profit at $10 million. And when Mike finished serving that company as GM some years later, they were doing $85 million of business with 15% profit. And I'll interview Mike on this weekly channel, which I'm devoting to our training partners at some point. But if Mike were sitting here right now and I were to ask him this question, I know what his answer would be. Here's the question. Mike, what percentage of the growth of your top line, the growth of your bottom line, the growth of your market share was about the way you understood relationships? And Mike would say 100%, because business relationships are human relationships. And Mike drills on our team now. When Mike retired, I had the very, very good blessing of being able to hire him to join World Serving Leaders. He does a lot of amazing coaching for us with seasoned executives and GMs. And he built that company through relationships, and he tells us all the time, quality conversations to build quality relationships, to build quality opportunities to deliver service and make a difference. And so those are our values. We value results. We insist on getting a return on investment for the clients we serve. We value heart. We bring passion to this work. We're not in this for the money or to mark the time or watch the clock. We value transformation. We want to make a difference that outlives us, and we value relationships.